Hey everybody, just thought I'd do a little video from inside my house, right? It's a nice familiar place. And that kind of fits in with some of the things that we're going to be talking about, hopefully as the rest of your life progresses, that there is a familiarity in what we know and what we believe, and there's a possibility that some of that is not as accurate as we think it is. If you take the time to read the Cycle of Liberation, it's a article at the end of the book. It's a complement to the Cycle of Socialization, and I think what you'll find is one of the first steps in the Cycle of Liberation, right? This unraveling of your cycle of socialization, this idea that your socialization is something that has kind of trapped you into a system that has a lot of problems and that has a lot of forms of oppression that we need to battle. And the first step in the cycle of liberation is this idea of cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the idea that you have something that you truly, truly believe in your life. You have something that you think is true without a doubt. And then all of a sudden you're presented with information or presented with a situation that calls that truth into doubt. That all of a sudden what you thought was true now has run directly into an idea that you now know is true also, and they conflict with each other. I'll give you an example from my own life. I grew up Catholic. I went to Catholic schools and did all that kind of Catholic stuff. Went to church, and I had what I think was a pretty strong faith in the religion and in Jesus, and especially in the ideas of like humility and the ideas of trying to help other people who are less fortunate. And I thought that was like the mission of the Catholic Church. And I went to a Catholic college, Seattle University, that was very focused on the idea of liberation theology, which focuses on people using religion as a political tool, in essence, to try to help ease the suffering of others, right? Attacking some of that structural oppression that is present in our societies. And I had a chance to go down to Mexico and actually stay in a convent for a week and learn from the nuns there who were doing grassroots organization to try to help register voters and help people get out from under the bonds of oppression, especially economically. And so I went and toured a very poor neighborhood and talked to some people there, and learned a lot about what it means to be poor and how difficult it is in some places in Mexico. And that was the vision of the Catholic Church that I had. It was like, we've got these people who are struggling, and there are people in the Catholic Church who are looking to try to change that. And so I thought, wow, that's a really great idea, and I love that, and it fits with my own beliefs and everything. And then a few years later, I was living in Europe, in Barcelona, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to take a weekend trip to Rome, because you can do that from Barcelona. It's pretty cheap. And I went to St. Peter's, right? Went to the Vatican. And what I saw was a palace, right? A giant fortress or a palace, something that is very suggestive of power, not humility. And so what I thought was true, right? Oh, this Catholic Church, it's pure and it's trying to help people and it's doing all this stuff, was suddenly confronted with the idea that, you know what? There's been a lot of corruption in the church, and there has been a lot of problems throughout the ages that has led, and a lot of oppression throughout the ages that has led to the construction of this enormous church that also functions as, a military safe haven. And at that point, I was like, maybe I should start questioning my ideas about the institution of Catholicism. But I still think that the things that Jesus had to teach, at least what we know about him, those are some pretty good ideas, right? Helping out the poor, loving each other. All that stuff is good stuff. However, what I've noticed is that there are institutions, human institutions, that perhaps abuse that and misuse that in forms of religious oppression. And so that's an example of one of my situations in which I had a little bit of cognitive dissonance. What I thought was true was confronted by other facts and then proven untrue. That's all I got.